Biblical Shakers continues this week with 5 more chapters from the book of Ezekiel, chapters 30 through 34. I encourage you to read one chapter a day and then read the corresponding devotion that is posted on my blog at biblicalshakers.blogspot.com. This blog will help encourage you as you read this challenging book of the Bible. Ezekiel proclaims the word of the Lord, describing a day of doom, not just for Egypt, but for all her allies, as we begin our reading in chapter 30. God destroyed Egypt's military superiority and gave it to Babylon, led by King Nebuchadnezzar, to execute his judgment. The most populous cities were destroyed, and the Nile River was dried up, symbolizing the end of Egypt's prosperity. The chapter ends with a prophecy of the defeat of Pharaoh, describing it as the breaking of his arms. With this, God assures his absolute control over nations and their rulers. Ezekiel 31 is a profound chapter filled with vivid metaphors and stern warnings. God delivers a message to Ezekiel, commanding him to convey a prophecy to Pharaoh and all of Egypt. Through the metaphor of Assyria being represented as a majestic cedar, God underscores the catastrophic consequences of arrogance and defiance against his sovereignty. God would rebuke Pharaoh's pride, cut down his nation, and cast it into hell. Ezekiel prophesies about the impending doom of Pharaoh and Egypt, comparing Pharaoh to a great monster caught in a net in the 32nd chapter. In verses 17 through 32, Ezekiel details a vision of the afterlife, where other nations and the princes of the north, all enemies of God's people, have been laid low and sent to the pit. The chapter ends with the final prophecy against Pharaoh, who is predicted to join these nations in the pit, illustrating the ultimate fate of those who oppose God. Chapter 33 sets forth a new direction for Ezekiel's prophecies. Up to this point, Ezekiel has pronounced judgment upon Judah, which is chapters 1 through 24, and the surrounding evil nations for their sins, which is chapters 25 through 32. After Jerusalem fell, Ezekiel turned from messages of doom and judgment to messages of comfort, hope, and future restoration for God's people, chapters 33 through 48. Ezekiel 33 is a profound chapter that underscores the responsibility of a watchman, highlights God's call for the Israelites to repent, and heralds the fall of Jerusalem. Ezekiel 34 paints a picture of God's fierce love and commitment to his people. Despite the failures of human leadership, God promises to step in as the ultimate shepherd. God, through his prophet, rebukes the leaders of Israel for their selfishness and neglect of the people they were chosen to guide and protect. The chapter then turns to God's promise to become the shepherd of his people, ensuring their safety, care, and restoration. This powerful message underlines God's unfailing love, his commitment to justice, and the hope of redemption and restoration. It reminds me of our Good Shepherd, the Son of God, Jesus the Christ, who cares for each one of us. Next week, another 5 chapters in the book of Ezekiel. Won't you join us? because biblical shakers will make reading the Bible way more enjoyable for you. And I pray the Lord will put a hunger on your hearts.